I couldn't come from a different perspective than you do, Kyle, because I've fired a gun only one time in my life. I used to work for Regal Cinemas. I was a manager, and I won some monthly combo selling concession contest. Why? And they
Nice.
sent me to Texas for like a 2-day cowboy dude ranch experience, and part of that was like going to this glass bottle 6-gun firing range, and I literally fired all 6 shots in like 3 seconds and dropped the gun and walked away. Like, it scared the crap out of me, man. Like, I know I don't have the experience. I'm a preacher's kid, not a cop's kid or whatever, but man, it just scared the crap out of me. Maybe that's part of why I view this as such a wrong gun to auction off, is that in general, guns feel kind of weird to me.
Dude,
Do you know what kind of gun it was?
No, it had a white grip, and it was this, Russian roulette spinny 6-shooter.
Revolver. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't come from a gun house. My PKA fans have heard this before. And I didn't get into guns until I was an adult. Call me like 35 or something. When I was first shooting, I was literally thinking to myself, like, oh, like, I wonder what my mom would think if she knew this. Like, I might get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like you were being bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I was being bad. Like I had snuck off and done this without telling her, and there might be some repercussions. But there weren't.
I mean, I guess if he wants to sell it and somebody wants to buy it, the like commercialist in me is like, okay, let it happen. Go on. If there's a market for it, I don't really have a problem with it. But it just feels a little skeezy to me, is all.
Yeah, morally, it's really skeezy.
Yeah, I think to everyone.
It's just, you shouldn't be able to say, hey, you can't sell that, Like, he should be able to sell it. It's just, you should also be able to call the guy who buys it a real piece of shit.
There you go.
So, Jeremy, what are you going to do when the zombies come?
What? What am I going to do with the zombies come? I'm going to get on the roof. Zombies don't know how to climb.
How much food do you have?
No, I'm a buddy of mine actually has been obsessed since college with this idea of a zombie musical called Zombies Can't Climb, where the heroes all get up on their roofs because they find out zombies are too stupid and clumsy to climb. So that was my response. I'll get on the roof. They can't climb.
But you're going to run out of food and
Basing
die
your
of
strategy
exposure.
on a fictional musical.
That's all right. I'd rather die of that than die of a zombie bite. And probably also I'll punch and kick some things and, swing a golf club or two. Or I don't know. I mean, I really...
Zombies feel no pain. Now, you got to keep in mind, a zombie is like a PCP'd out, like, maniac who's hungry for your flesh. You better have a 9-iron and be Tiger Woods if you're going to defend yourself. Like, you got to really hit him like right in the
I've seen
temple or
The Walking
something.
Dead.
He
It doesn't
nips
have
you
to be a
once.
gun. I could have a bow and arrow.
Oh,
I
that's
could have
absurd.
a
I've seen The
machete.
Walking Dead too. That bow thing, like, it's cool to see Merle or whatever. And it's not Merle. Whatever his name is, running around with that bow and everything. That's absurd. That would never. cut it in
I
real
agree
life.
with you completely. I just, it's fun to argue, but you're totally right.
Yeah, that shit doesn't cut it. He would be better off with like a bow they could like put like Legolas. Like if you had like a compound bow where you could draw arrows from a quiver and fire them quickly.
Yeah, but the crossbow is not. It's not a quick weapon.
Cocking it, you literally have to put it like nose down and step on a thing and use both hands to pull the string, unless you've got some kind of fancy crossbow with a cantilever thingy or something. But crossbow's not a good weapon for anything,
I agree.
really.
No, it really seems like it came into and out of vogue very quickly.
No,
they're like,
now,
hey,
hang
we can
on.
shoot this arrow really hard, really straight, and then real quick after that, they're like, the Chinese figured out this gunpowder shit, and it is pretty sweet. Way better than this fucking arrow.
I think the crossbow was considered a dishonorable weapon.
It was.
And also I think that it had some advantages but some drawbacks. I don't think it had the same range, but it was obviously any idiot could use a crossbow, right? It's really easy to point and shoot. But using a longbow, you got to train a grown man for like his whole life to like get him to learn how to use that thing as a soldier. If you're gonna be a longongbowman out on the field of battle, like
I didn't know
that bow's 100-pound draw. Like not just anybody can pull a 100-pound draw.
England didn't
don't think I can
use crossbows because they thought it was shameful.
Yeah, that's true.
At least initially, because England's thing, they had like excellent trained longbowmen, and then the crossbow came out and. It's just like anything where as soon as they realized that they were shit out of luck because someone immediately, like a child, could do exactly what they trained their whole life for, they go the route of like, well, we're so honorable that we're not moving over to that technology. Like, no, of course not.
It's pretty difficult to reload a crossbow, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
It takes a long time.
I could probably load if I had an empty crossbow sitting here and an arrow on the table. It would probably take me a solid 7 seconds to get it ready to point and shoot. And I know how to use one. I got to put it nose down on the ground and use my foot to step on a thing that holds it to the ground. And then with both hands, I have to grab the string and pull back until it catches. Then pick it up like a rifle and put the arrow in its place or the bolt in its place, and then aim and fire.
It's kind of unrelated, but have you guys seen that video of that guy who taught himself his own bow and arrow method where he does all the acrobatics? And like a way he speculates ancient bowmasters may have fought. But just the fact that he's so dead on while he's doing all these flips and twirls and crap, it's amazing.
Yeah, he's very good.
It's one of my favorite videos.
Yeah, he had studied lots of old literature and lots of old paintings and I wanted to say photographs, but paintings and illustrations. That's what I was looking for, of archers from various cultures throughout history, and he found all these different ways of holding the arrows between multiple fingers and all these different ways to grip them. And he is, if you've never seen it, search like world's fastest bow shooter or something like that, and you'll find him. He's very talented.
It's amazing.
Archer.
I'm not qualified to debunk him, but apparently people who are have debunked that thing like crazy. Like they're all just saying that it's fake, that it's not true. There's other people who like replicated his jumps and stuff, and you can see the arrows are like flying out of the quiver, landing all over the ground, and they look ridiculous.
I saw that whole thing too, and like I watched the video, the exact one you're talking about, where the dude's like legitimately doing like shield sliding Legolas moves, like running on the wall in gyms, like boop boop boop, real quick. And I read some comment where someone's like, resident archer expert here. Let me explain all the reasons that this is bunk. And then I got like halfway through the comment, and I'm like, this is ruining the fun. I choose to accept this. Like, it's more fun to just imagine all the archers back then parkouring their way through battle. But
even
in reality,
if
there's no fucking way they did. There's no fucking way they did.
Just that this guy taught himself how to do. He's accurate as fuck, man. Like he's doing twirls and hitting the target.
They're
perfectly.
edited videos. I could look like that with enough retakes.
It's a montage.
Right?
Are you saying that video is CGI? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying retakes. It's a montage.
He's saying it took him a year to make it.
Yeah, that video is one that let the bodies hit the floor away from being a Call of Duty montage.
Yes.
That's like trick shot videos, right? I can shoot from the... I can make a basket from the top of the Golden Gate Bridge if you give me 100 takes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it'd be like if Dude Perfect made a video where they're like, so I studied Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all the basketball players throughout history. I found a new way to hold the basketball. Check this out. And it like makes the shot. You think that was hard? Let's step it on up to full court. Show you the grip again. See, nothing to it, ladies and gentlemen. I studied a lot of historical basketball players, going back to the Ming Dynasty, in fact, and like
let's try this from the top of a building into a parking lot. It just throws the ball, swish.
It's funny that he used all of history to look at with like the paintings and everything, because it's almost like the archer in like Babylon was looking at like the ancient Mesopotamian things on the wall of those archers, being like, look at these fucking rubes. They don't know what they're doing, like they figured out something better. But this guy just went back and took bits and pieces from long outdated methods and cobbled it together into something that's really not useful in any sphere. It's kind of like becoming a basketball expert by starting out like, man, that white guy's tossing it up into that peach basket really well. Let's start taking notes. Where it's like, no, it started off bad for a reason.
So they looked at these ancient drawings from like Mesopotamia or something on how to fire an arrow. And the drawing is shit, right? There's like a guy with no fingers holding a bow, and they're like, look, he's not looking with his eye to aim up the arrow. He's just pulling it instinctively. Meanwhile, it's next to a picture of a lion that looks like a male penis, or I guess all penises are male. And
now you do have to specify that.
The lion is just like two circles in an arch thing.
I'm just imagining the scenario where someone's like, no, actually that's a female penis. Really? Are you sure? Well, she said it was.
Like, stop treating these as accurate representations of historical archery. Anyway,
I believe in it though. I'm gonna stick my neck out there, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna believe it. And here's why. Modern archers, I own two bows. I got a compound bow and a recurve bow, and I don't shoot regularly, but I'm good with a bow, especially my compound bow. I definitely could hit a man from 50 yards. It just wouldn't be a problem. But that it's really a recreational kind of hobby thing with archery with me and with 99.99999% of the rest of the human population that's alive now. However, an older throughout history, I feel like if you're a good archer, like wow, you might as well be a good lawyer or a good doctor or something. I feel like we got a place for that guy. He's a good archer? Really? Let me see. Oh shit, he can throw it up and hit it? Yeah, come on. King's Court. Let's get him a job.
King's Court.
I don't know.
Seat at the round table. What year is it?
If your culture like relies on archers to defend them from the barbarians at the gate, you're inherently going to become a really fucking good archer.
How hard a skill is it?
Very hard.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
All right.
It's the accuracy thing. You know, it's like asking how hard is it to throw darts. It's easy to throw a dart, but if you want to hit that bullseye every time, like you better be practicing hours and hours on end.
I believe with 1 hour practice, I could hit the board every time. How accurate do you need to be?
You know what? You would. Have you ever shot a slingshot or something that didn't require aiming? It was more of a feel kind of thing.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Like the brace slingshots that are super strong.
Those are cool. So when I shoot my recurve bow, I fire it kind of like that. I really don't aim down the sights or anything. I have sights, but I've never attached them. It's really from feel pretty much all the time. And I'm not nearly as accurate as I am with my compound bow, which has really good like fiber optic sights where you're looking through a peephole in the back and you've got a pin up front, and you can be very exacting. I think they're as accurate as rifles in my experience. I mean, they put 3 arrows in a spot like that at 30 yards. The bow will. You doing that is another story. That's all skill. But bows are really, really accurate. But with that, when you're shooting just from the hip, like not really from the hip, but when I'm shooting instinctively, I'm accurate enough to put them all in something like this at 20 yards, with practice, hours of practice. You know, not weeks of practice, but 2 hours a week or something.
Yeah, not useful to practice now. If that guy lived 1,500 years ago, what he's spent his life doing would make a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, he would be very famous and very wealthy, I guess, as the archer of the West or something like that, with like 80 kills.
Well, the real question is if Attila the Hun's bow was for sale, would you buy it?
You see, Attila used a very interesting kind of bow because they were all riding on horseback, so they had these really short sort of recurve bows they used that they could fire from the mounted horse. So yeah, if you get one of those, that'd be pretty sweet.
I think they were the first people to really utilize the recurve bow. The Mongols?
Definitely the first ones to get on a horse and kind of become cavalry, you know, and with the bows, with the mounted archers.
Mm-hmm.
New topic?
What came... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Unless you want to keep going.
No, I was going to talk more about the Mongols and the Huns, and so we can go ahead and skedaddle.
Yeah. There is one person out there like, no, fuck, I'm writing my thesis on the Mongols and the Huns.
Yeah,
More talk about those.
We're going to see one comment from, like, Hun Kid 69, where he's like, God damn it, finally you're going to talk about my favorite conquering civilization, and you just ditch it. Like,